Hi everybody, first of our two videos on the ASICS MetaRacer. The first video, just after I say a few words, our 5 ACE testers are going to give you their review and impressions of this wonderful new super shoe from ASICS. It has a bottom loaded carbon plate. That means the plate is just above the outsole. It's kind of in a double wishbone shape. Here's a picture of it. The midsole is flight foam, and it's the same kind of flight foam we see in the Nimbus Lite, so it's bouncy. It's designed to have durability and the bounce, and also to lighten it. So the shoe weighs 6.7 ounces in a US 9, or 190 grams. The stack height is lower than some of the other contenders at 24 millimeter heel, 15 millimeter forefoot, so that is a 9 millimeter drop. The upper is what they call an airflow upper. It has it's a single layered engineered mesh. It fits beautifully. All of our testers. You can see some features. You see what we call maybe the USB port. That harkens back to the 1960s original Magic Runner. And to research over the years that ASICS has done that reducing foot temperature can also reduce heart rate. You also see the diagonal ventilation lines that force air out. It is even ventilated at the heel, as you can see, and you can see that single layer mesh. So underfoot, we have ASICS grip, a full coverage, basically, and at the heel, just on the lateral side. And that design allows decoupling and moving towards the midfoot, and then this long, smooth rocker, which is ASICS guide sole, which we also see in the Glide Ride and the Evo Ride. And that is designed to reduce ankle flexion and lower leg movement. The MetaRacer is scheduled to go on sale in Japan April 17th, and in the rest of the world towards the end of June. It's a $200 shoe. So we're going to let the team tell you what they thought. And in the second video, they'll compare them to all the, or many or most, all the super shoe contenders.
Okay, so all of our ACE reviewers are here, and we're going to do some quick reviews of each of them of the ASICS MetaRacer. So first up, Derek Lee, all the way from Singapore. Introduce yourself, Derek, and have at it.
Derek, I'm mostly a marathoner. I do about 80 to 90 miles a week, and I have a personal best of 2:41 in the marathon. So we're going to be reviewing the ASICS MetaRacer today. That's what it is. Very few people have had it so far, and I've only had about 4 runs in it so far since I've had it. In terms of reviewing the shoe, I like the features of the upper a lot. There is some hydrophobic treatment of the material, as well as some strategic placement of the vents on the upper. With this shoe, I get very good lockdown in the shoe, and the lace tension is really easy to tweak. For this shoe, the big feature in terms of the ride is how the carbon plate helps the shoe to maintain its 4-foot rocker profile. Okay, so the shoe allows you to roll through the stride really easily. And ASICS calls this technology its guide sole technology. There is some of it in its MetaRide, Glide Ride, and Evo Ride as well. And you'll find that with this shoe, it's very easy to just keep turning over the pace, especially at a faster tempo. I think it makes for a very good 5K to half marathon type marathon racing shoe, particularly if there's a lot of steady state tempo in it. So you don't really have to have very big variations in the pace. In terms of running style, I think as long as you're not an extreme heel striker or an extreme 4-foot striker, the guide sole profile should kind of do its thing for you. Yeah, so that's my review of the shoe.
Thank you, Derek. How about who wants to go next?
I can cover it. So I also tested, obviously, the MetaRacer from ASICS. I think the best part of it, in my opinion, is the upper. It's probably the best upper of any of the new carbon racers that we've tested in 2019 and 2020. Just a really well-fitting upper. It's snug. There's no overlays, but even when running fast in track work, doing mile repeats and strides, you don't feel like you're sliding around. It's also kind of impressive in the way that the plate kind of interacts with the midsole. So and we'll talk about this in the comparison sections, but one of the problems that we've had in some other racers is sort of you hit the midsole and then you hit the carbon plate, and they're kind of two different feels. I think ASICS did a really good job in integrating that carbon plate into the midsole, so that when you stride and you toe off, it's all kind of one simultaneous action, as opposed to kind of a two-step, heel to toe process. I think it's a really, really impressive racer. It's not, as you can see, the doesn't have the most stack height of any of the marathoners. So for some runners, it may be a little bit under cushioned to cover 26.2, but I think just about anybody can get up to at least 13.1 in this, and miles, obviously. And I think many people will take this to the marathon without issue. So it's a really fun racer, and definitely one of my favorites.
Hey, Michael, give us a little bio too, please.
Sure. So I'm Michael Ellenberger. I have been writing reviews for a couple of years now. I run primarily, well, I suppose I kind of cover all distances. I run 107, 43 and a half, 231 in the marathon, 30-20 in the 10K at one point, not so recently, but hope to race more and lower those PRs when the racing picks up again.
Great, wonderful. Hope, do you want to go?
Hi there, I'm Hope Wilkes. I'm 30 years old. I run a bunch of marathons, half marathons, about 40 miles per week right now. My PR in the marathon is 3:47 and 1:44 PR in the half. I dabble in ultras, but not a specialist. I'm a pretty big fan of this shoe. I like that it's a low slung, kind of minimal racer, and more comfortable than it looks. It's got great wrap in the upper, and totally smooth underfoot. It feels like the shoe's doing all the work for me. And I'm running paces in the shoe coming off of hard efforts that I've got no business running. I enjoy the stable feel of it. And I think it's pretty special.
Thanks, Hope. Sally?
Okay, I'm Sally Riley. I live in, I'm not muted, right? No, sorry. I'm Sally and I live in Marblehead, Massachusetts. I can represent the older age spectrum here at age 60. I got into running races later in life, did my first marathon at age 54 as a reaction to the bombing in Boston, and discovered I loved it. So I've done 9 marathons, and just did a PR in New York this fall with 3:28, and the half marathon. I haven't done a lot of them, like 1:36. But so I, again, am lucky to have been testing this shoe. I've not done many runs in the MetaRacer yet. There have been so many great shoes out this winter that's been really fun to run. But I really like this one. It dares to be different. They're not like the other, carbon plate shoes with the thick cushion stack and whatnot. But this one is fast and light. I think it's beautiful and elegant in its simplicity. And it fits like a dream. Just, you put it on and the upper holds you and everything like that. It's quick. It does not like a slow recovery run. Just bear that in mind. I am not sure I would take it for 26.2 miles. I think it would be an awesome half marathon or shorter race shoe. I think it's just, maybe it's my older bones, need a little more cushion as you get farther on, but it really loves to roll and toe off, and it just really likes to push the pace. So, but that's what it's intended for. It's for a fast run, and you'll get it in this shoe, and it's comfortable, as I said. In New England, my feet got cold, and I didn't understand why till I learned that there's a vent in the front that is designed to keep your foot cold or cool. It keeps your heart rate down for some reason. But it's a thing of beauty, in my opinion. Boy, that's light.
Thanks, Sally. I guess it's my turn. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see me, but in this view, but I'll just echo what the rest of the team has said about the MetaRacer. It's a shoe designed to be run fast. It's the stack is pretty low at 24.15. The weight 6.7 ounces, 190 grams, so it's light but low slung. However, I found the heel cushioning more than adequate. I tested it on some steep uphills and downhills in Park City, and I was amazed how much rebound yet cushion I got on those steep downhills. I found that on very steep uphills, where your pace drops off, that it was I struggled more to get past the heel onto the carbon plate. But in all other kinds of terrain, if you will, flats, moderate uphills and downhills, it was fantastic. I just think it's a super elegant shoe, super refined. The upper fits like a dream. It's not a shoe, as some of the other super cushion shoes have been, where you can get away with a slower pace. In my case, I found that about 8:30 per mile or faster is really where they activated. I could really feel the bounce from the flight foam midsole here, which is quite similar, if not identical, in firmness to the Nimbus Lite, but in no way mushy. So it's a wonderful option for me for all races, half marathon and below. ASICS has done just a beautiful job. It's a very distinctive looking and running shoe that has a long, smooth carbon plate, which is in the front area here. There's none in the back. It's just wonderful. So like Sally, I'm in the 6.0 plus category of runner. I can manage a sub 140. That's my goal for the future, sub 140 for the half. And a couple years ago, I ran a 340 Boston qualifier.
In our next video, we're going to compare the MetaRacer to many or all the contenders and some older ASICS flats.